It was October 5th, 1964. Thanksgiving Monday, and the family was gathered around the huge oak dining table at the farmhouse. There was mom and dad and two sets of grandparents, the hired man, the minister and his wife, and various assorted elderly people that had nowhere else to go. It was a typical neighborhood family dinner in my home. At the end of the meal, my dad stood up and clinked his glass and said, "Everybody, I have an announcement. I am happy to announce that we are going to have a baby." Oh, well, this was big news indeed, because there was two boys and two girls, and we thought the family was complete. But in my 10-year-old innocent, I spoke up and said, "Hey, I know where babies come from." Well, my little Welsh granny, the pirate, almost lost her loose-fitting dentures. She gasped, and I completed the statement by saying, "They come from Vancouver." In our family, there was my older brother, and then there was 3 adopted children. I knew that a baby meant that we get to go to Vancouver on a trip. Well, unfortunately, this baby didn't give us a trip because she was a natural child and was born in the local hospital. But oh my gosh, what a joy, what a delight it was to welcome this beautiful little baby sister. She was and continued throughout her life to be the happiest, most joy-filled person that anybody had ever met. She was the type of baby that spoiled people for other children. She was quiet, she was calm, she smiled, she giggled, hardly ever cried. In fact, as her eldest sister, I often had to sneak into her crib and pinch her to wake her up so that we could play with her. She was incredibly content. But as the baby, she always wanted to play with the older siblings. One time when the parents were away and the 5 of us were running amok in the house, we were playing hide and seek. Well, Sheila, as the baby, was running along behind everybody. "I want to hide with you. I want to hide with you." What a pain. So my big brother grabbed her and stuffed her down the laundry chute. What a great place to hide. She laughed and giggled as she nestled in the dirty clothes. We went downstairs, opened the cupboard, and there was Sheila. After that, the laundry chute became her favorite hiding place. And so if we wanted to get rid of her, because a baby sister can be a pain in the drain sometimes, we would threaten to hide her in the grain bin in the barn, and then the cows would eat her. That kept her under control. But she was the kind of person that even when she fell down and broke her arm, she laughed and said, "It hurt so bad, all I could do was laugh." Laughter and joy, that was Sheila. Now, maybe threatening to feed her to the cows wasn't our best strategy, because she had an interesting relationship with large animals. She would come out to the tack room with me and sit on the steps as I was working with my horses. And I had this one nasty-tempered Appaloosa mare that was as hard as nails. She was my extreme sport horse. Well, adorable little Sheila would be sitting on the tack room stairs, just happy to be with me and with the horse and the outside. And this nasty mare reached over and bit her face. And she had teeth marks by her nose and behind her ears. Oh, try to explain that to the parents, how the horse tried to eat their youngest daughter. But that didn't deter her. She came back, and about 2 weeks, she was sitting on the tack room steps again, same horse, same situation, except this time the mare reaches over and grabs her by one of her little ponytails and shakes her like a dog. She didn't come back to visit the tack room after that. As Sheila grew, we discovered that she was excellent with dogs and cats. In fact, instead of riding horses, she developed a love of dogs and cats, and her Siamese cat, Fenwick, was her companion for 17 years. But then the nieces and nephews started coming on the scene, and Auntie Sheila was the favorite babysitter. She had such a way with the children. In fact, I think she related to them on a real emotional level because Sheila was a lot like Peter Pan. She never wanted to grow up. What a perfect babysitter. She would even fly up to Inuvik when I lived there and spend a month with me looking after my son and then escort him down to BC so he could spend a month with his grandparents. When I moved to Lethbridge, she came and spent 6 weeks with me looking after Chris and helping us to get settled in. But her favorite place in the world had to be our summer cabin. And as you can see in the picture behind me, this is Sheila sitting and enjoying the water and the lake. That is where the family gathered and still gathers today. And Sheila would gather a huge group of friends because although she didn't have her own children, she adopted her friends' children. She adopted her nieces and nephews and step-nieces and nephews. She was all about family, and cabin time meant family time. Her long-term companion, Blaine, was such a welcome addition to our family, and he took care of Sheila through thick and thin. And in the last few years of her life, where she has been struggling with Huntington's disease, a very difficult and ugly neurological disease, Blaine was there supporting her and loving her. You know, I wanted to visit her this Thanksgiving, but she was in intensive care and they were limiting the number of people that could visit. On Thanksgiving Monday, as we were driving back from BC, back to Lethbridge, I got the call that Sheila had passed away. Her life engagement in my life went from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving. And today, I give thanks for this happy, joyful, beautiful sister. Mr. Toastmaster.